Alright, welcome to Fluffy's Exhibitions and welcome to... What, it's not showing. Of course not, it's been forever. Welcome to... There we go. Today... Oh, yeah. I forgot about that issue. These... need to have different color. Real quick. Opa. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Also, where's my... Where am I... Is it still there? Yeah. Yeah, welcome to tonight's stream of SCP reading. It's been quite some time. It's been a while. And it makes me realize how much stuff I haven't done recently because I was going through some emotional times and stressful times and all that stuff. So I didn't have enough time for streaming. I didn't have enough time for doing YouTube stuff either. And I have to get back into it. It's been too long of a break. Hopefully I can get back into the swing of things. Streaming is easier, but YouTube, I feel like it's gonna be a bit of a struggle to get back into it right now. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. How is everybody doing? I hope you're all doing well. People who are watching now, people who will be watching in a couple minutes, and people who are watching in the future when this stream is over, I hope you're all doing really well. And hey, welcome to Fluffy's Exhibition. Irrelevant-tannen. Irrelevant-tannen? Wait, hold on now. How the hell do you say that? Irrelevant-tannen. Or canon? A canon? Irrelevant-tannen? That's my best. Yes. But yeah, we've been watching for these a while. I was able to catch a stream. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. How long? I'm pretty sure I saw you a long time ago. Nope, never mind. I was wrong. That was somebody else with a similar name. Or at least I could have sworn. But oh well. Welcome to Fluff, and I'm just trying to buy time because there are some people that want to watch. That wanted to watch the stream, but they're probably not going to join anytime soon. So, without further ado, we shall. Oh, by the way, tell me if my voice and if the background music with the rain, if that is perfectly balanced, if the rain or if my voice is too loud, too quiet, anything like that. Just give me a heads up and I'll fix it as soon as possible until the moment you say something's wrong. Okay. Oh my god, we have reached the first 1,000. I'm baffled that I got this far throughout the year. I read over 500 SCPs in a year stream wise. So yeah, it's good, no worries. Thank you so much. Okay, gotcha. I think I read like over 500 SCPs. I mean, the fact that if I can keep track of all of them is definitely a different case, but yeah. SCP-1000, Bigfoot. Now, it says Bigfoot, and of course we have already an existing Bigfoot in the urban legends, but this is the SCP world. Either Bigfoot is actually the real deal, like the Bigfoot that we're talking about, exists in that universe, because Jormungandr, the world serpent, exists in that universe, even though in this universe it's not a world serpent, but it's just a big ass snake. So either it is the normal Bigfoot, or it's something completely else. Maybe it's not an ape, or an ape-like creature. What if it's a giant? What if it's like a 15-foot giant with big feet, like giant feet, and you just go through the forest and there's just this ginormous footprint in there. Oh, look at that. I even told my friend, I was like, hey, you gotta make it in time because I feel like this is gonna be a highly rated one. It's gonna be an interesting one. And look at that, the rating is boom off the roof for the very first SCP to read for the day. It's Keter, and for everybody who doesn't know what the SCPs are and what Keter means, Keter basically means it's highly dangerous. It's very hard to contain. It can easily cause a lot of destruction or death or pain or anything like that. So the fact that it's that we're starting off with a Keter SCP already is a good sign to come. So all media reports related to SCP-1000 are to be examined for potential variability. All organizations and individuals investigating SCP-1000's existence are to be kept, let's go to this real quick, under surveillance by Mobile Task Force Zeta-1, I'm just going to say 1000 to that one, and discredited or administered amnestics. All physical signs of SCP-1000 existence must be retrieved and kept in Foundation custody and replaced with decoy items if necessary. Alleged sightings of SCP-1000 must always be investigated by MTF Zeta-1000, however trivial the claim. Absolutely no contact with wild or captive instances of SCP-1000 is allowed without prior approval by Director Jones. Any interaction between SCP-1000 and humans, including Foundation personnel, must be reported to Director Jones immediately. Okay, so just from like how they have to contain it. First of all, they don't have to contain at all. It's just, it is out there. It is roaming free. A SCP that's Keter level, meaning it's, as I said, highly dangerous or highly problematic. It can be both. Like some Keter are just like, you know, they're not trying to kill people. They're not trying to cause panic or damage, but just their existence might cause problems within the human race anyway. For example, you know, humans might have like a whole different outlook on life, and some of them might just end up in like a huge mass of people might end up just in depression, just because of the pure existence of an SCP. So, but in this case, it does sound like they really don't want it. I mean, at the end, the SCP Foundation doesn't want any SCP to be spotted by humans. That's why they get amnestics. But with this one, they don't have it captured. They don't even know where it is. They just have reports of sightings, and they're trying to find it. And here we have a picture saying still from unverified amateur footage. So, oh, there he is. I think. There he is, right there. Well, it doesn't look like it's a giant. It does, but it also doesn't look very ape-like, like the typical Bigfoot image that we have. Here we go. So, excuse me, a Bigfoot is written together. Yeah, like it's not this, it's not that, it's not this. It seems, I mean, it's close to this one, but I don't know, the head looks, it might just be how it's edited this picture, but the head looks almost like cylinder, like I don't know, like cashew shaped, not cashew, pistachio. Like it's just like that kind of thing. So, well, we'll see what the description is. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is like very like ape-like. Who knows? SCP-1000 is a nocturnal omnivorous ape. Yeah, okay, it is an ape. So looks like Bigfoot seems so far from what we've seen in the first sentence right here, similar to our version of Bigfoot. Classified in the hominy branch along with genera Pan and Homo. Adults range in size from 1.5 to 3 meters. Monkey, exactly. The first monkey of the SCP. Actually, it's not the first monkey of the SCP Foundation. There are so many different monkeys in this room. This universe. I think the scariest ones are the ones without faces. And they like. But like they like somehow manage to like lick you in your dreams, and they basically they cause you to fall asleep and have like lucid dreams or REM sleep, and then they just lick you and that's how they feast with your sweat that you create from your dreams. Even though they don't really have a face, they still can somehow lick you off. It's really weird. In height and weight between 90 and 270 kilograms, 200 to 600 pounds. They have gray, brown. So it says they, which only shows that there's not one Bigfoot. There are many. Oh wait, hold on. Okay. Okay, some important stuff. I'm sorry. Sorry for the interruption. So it says they, so it's not just one, it's multiple. They have gray, brown, black, red, and occasionally white fur. They possess large eyes with good vision, a pronounced brow ridge, and a sagittal crest on the forehead similar to that of the gorilla, but present in both sexes. The intelligence is on par with that of pan crocodiles, the common chimpanzee. SCP-10000 evolved alongside Homo sapiens, existing oh my god, what the fuck is this word? Contemporaneously with proto-humans and humans in large numbers until 10,000 to 15,000 years ago, when an extinction event eliminated all but 1 to 5% of the population. This event was triggered by SCP-100 contracting an anomalous pseudo-disease classified as SCP-1000-F1. This disease is passed on a genetic level and affects every present-day instance of SCP-1000. The majority of SCP-1000 instances are born immune to the effect. Those who are not born immune quickly die. And the effect of -F1 is as follows. Any humanid, including humans, chimpanzees, bonobos, and non-immune instances of 100 that directly or indirectly observes any instances of 100 has a minimum 2% chance of being instantly killed through anomalous means via permanent cessation of brain function. Oh. That is, okay, yeah, I can see why the SCP Foundation does not want you to be around these guys. Because the fact that you might just bump into them in nature, or be in an area where, like, you know, the DNA just floats around, or bacteria of them floats around. And then you just go home and you just like, okay, let me just go on my computer real quick and send this email. And suddenly you just go. I can see how that is a bit of a problem. This percentage is cumulative, and the longer a human views SCP-000, the higher the chance of instantaneous death increases at a rate of plus 1% chance per 20 minutes of viewing. All you gotta do is look at them. Imagine you just are fascinated by them. Like, you're just like, oh my god, we've never seen this type of creature before. And you just look at them for like 3 hours. You just follow them around, look at them for 3 hours, and you're just like, wow, that's crazy. And next thing you know, you just flop dead. You just dead. Muerto. Just on the ground, not breathing. Imagine being a partner or a friend who then just joins you in the like last minute. It's like, oh hey, here you are. What are you doing? He's like, oh, I've been looking at these monkeys for quite some time. And he's like, oh yeah, oh these are big. Are you sure those are monkeys? He's like, yeah, those are monkeys. They look ape-like. Yeah, but they're surprisingly tall for monkeys. Yeah, but dies. You know, Fred. Fred. Don't do this to me. Come on now. Yeah, ugh. This effect varies between individual members of SCP-000 species, with some individuals carrying a death chance of 90%. So you don't even have to like look at them for 2 hours. You could just come across them, look at them real quick, and then just die. The effect is also produced by dead individuals. Oh, that's why it's Kita. That's why it's Kita, because even the dead bodies emit this disease. Through small first samples do not exhibit. Oh wait, no, dead as in like dead versions of the SCP, not the dead humans. Okay, I was about to say, if you die and then you spread the disease, like you just become like this hub of just a pulsating death ray, then yeah, I can see why this is keto. I mean, I still understand why it's keto, because like the idea of seeing a 1.5 meter monkey in the forest and then just dying just because you looked at it, yeah, that's a bit of a problem. No, it's not a bit, it's a big fat problem, that's what it is. No means of preventing its effect are small scale only and include redacted. See attached documentation, level 3 clearance required. Oh yeah, I don't have my Stream Deck set up. Because I had set up when I was in London, but then when I moved back I forgot to back it up, and I don't have all the different voice changing and the bleep sound effects anymore. Because of SCP-000 close relation to humanity, it is considered likely that F-F1 could eventually transfer to human carriers. Any instance of SCP-000 finding its way to a major population center could constitute an blank class end of the world scenario with a minimum death toll of redacted and possible extinction of humanity. Fortunately, SCP-100 appears to instinctively avoid human contact, and well, that's good. Although at the end, a lot of animals that try to avoid human contact still get found or chased or hunted by humans, so good luck. It is not currently feasible to exterminate SCP-100 entirely. Why not? Why not? What's the issue? Why can't you just eradicate them? The highest known population concentration of SCP-100 are at present located in the Pacific Northwest region of North America and the Himalayan mountain range in Asia. As of blank, these populations remain extant. SCP-100 presence and data expunged have also been documented within the past 5 years on every continent. All known significant population of SCP-100 located near human population centers have been eliminated. SCP-100 came to the attention of the Foundation via contact by Dr. Franz M. Blank in 14 blank with the Children of the Sun. Yeah, of course, because these SCP existed since like mankind, so of course in the 1400s they found a one of them who identified themselves as outcast members of the Serpent's Hand. Oh, okay. I know the Serpent's Hand currently is basically an enemy foundation of the SCP Foundation. Because like I believe that like kind of like if I remember correctly, kind of like a little bit of a terrorist group, not fully, but like, you know. Cool image though, I would say. But yeah, that's the problem that the Serpent's Hand found them. The Serpent's Hand's kind of is like what they kind of want like dangerous SCP for themselves, kind of deal, you know. Then of course there's also the Church of the Broken God. There's Martial Call in Dark, and so many different groups in this universe. But yeah, I think Serpent's Hand is like the one that the Foundation is mostly cautious about, because they always try to like break in and steal SCPs because they want to use them for certain things. You know, money, power, control, stuff like that. This group has since been completely destroyed by the Foundation, yeah, due to the reluctance to surrender information about SCP-100, SCP Blank, and SCP Blanks. It's reclassified as SCP-100-blank and SCP-100-blank. Remaining members have either joined the Foundation or have gone into hiding, presumably as members of the Serpent Hand. Weapons, tools, and other unique pseudo-technological resources possession of the organization have been classified as SCP-100-001 through SCP-100-blank. These resources have been made use of by the Foundation in multiple instances. For a full list, see document 100-3534-U. Level 3 clearance required. Access to surviving ex-members of the Children of the Sun is restricted to personnel with clearance level 4/1000 unless given direct authorization for contact by Director Jones. Further information is available to personnel with clearance level 3/1000 or above. Personnel with clearance level 3/1000 or above are required to read document Alpha 1596-1000. Addendum 466-X, update to special containment procedures. As of my eye, I'll be right back. I need to find my blue light glasses case, but that's where my find it. Up. God damn, that's dirty. There we go. Oh, that's much better. There we go. As of blank blank blank, SCP-1000's special containment procedures no longer include Procedure 516 Lumina, data expunged. Indicates that SCP-1000 may be developing a resistance to the sonic element, data expunged. Will not develop further, so that Procedure 516 Lumina can still be used in emergency situations. Investigation into alternate means of reliably keeping SCP-1000 away from human population centers is underway. Whether SCP-1000 resistance to Procedure 516 Lumina was calculated and as such may be signed off SCP-1000 redacted or coincidental by chance of natural species variation is not known at this time. Level 3 clearance required. Document Alpha 1596-1000 missive from Director Jones. You've probably heard that rumors before now. Everyone without the clearance level to know better wants to get their dig in. Did you hear Sasquatch is an SCP? Are we gonna capture and contain Bat Boy next? Yes, SB-1000 is Bigfoot. I'm sure you snickered. Don't worry. Contrary to rumors, we don't actually assign you to killer duty for finding something humorous. You think Bigfoot is funny because we want you to think Bigfoot is funny. We bankrolled Hollywood comedies, and the Serpents are basically interdimensional activists that want to expose the existence of the anomalous to the public, advocating for anomalous rights. There's way more to them, but that's the basic. Yeah, there's a lot more to them, as you said. And of course, a lot of the times when I bump into them throughout the reading, it was like they want the SCPs for either like, as you said, either like make it public knowledge, or because a lot of people would pay them good money to gain an SCP with certain powers or certain anomalies. So yeah, you're right. There's a lot more to them, but the general idea is they want the SCPs to be public, and they want to be free, but also at the same time they kind of also want to use them in certain ways. When they're like very I would say they're very flimsy when it comes to like what they want for the SCPs. Where was I? Oh, you think Bigfoot is funny because we bankrolled Hollywood comedies and Fox. English not my first language. I'm sorry. What the hell is this? How do you pronounce this?
Farcical.
Farcical, that's what. Hey, Shira, you're here. You haven't missed much. I mean, I read what the SCP Bigfoot is and how they try to contain it, which they don't try to contain it. Well, they are unable to contain it because it's out in the wild. And Bigfoot, there are multiple of them, and yes, they are ape-like creatures. But the difference between our Bigfoot that we have in our stories and their Bigfoot is that if you look at them, you die. Like you have a chance of just instantly just getting, like your brain just dies, you know, and then you just flop. So that's what we found out, and now we're reading how Director Jones is saying like, hey, here's the deal with this guy. So, and I'm just I'm gonna reread this part because you just joined in. So here we go. You probably heard the rumors before now. Everyone without the clearance level to know better wants to get their dig in. Did you hear that Sasquatch is an SCP? Are we gonna capture and contain Bat Boy next? Yes, SB1000 is Bigfoot. I'm sure you snickered. Don't worry. Contrary to rumors, we don't actually assign you to Keita duty for finding something humorous. And yeah, just so you know, Shira, Keita is an object class or assigned level to an SCP, and Keita usually means that the Foundation will either A, have a very hard time containing it, or B, it's or slash and B, it's very dangerous to the public, to any group of people, for different reasons. Either because it can cause death, or it can cause a massive wave of different emotions, or so on and so forth, or it can cause like some sort of like uproar. It's like that's what it is. But in this case, it's Keita because the fact that there are a couple of them out in public somewhere, and the Foundation has no idea where, and that you can look at them and then just be like, oh, that's a weird monkey, and then just die like that, and like, you know, that's why they're Keita. So, you think Bigfoot is funny because we want you to think Bigfoot is funny. We've bankrolled Hollywood comedies and farcical documentaries, paid off men in gorilla suits, perpetrated hoaxes of bear prints and goat fur, bribed and brainwashed cartoonists to get especially silly depictions on children's television. Even the term Bigfoot comes from us, planted in the media in 1958, a term people would find even harder to take seriously than Sasquatch. So yeah, the SB Foundation is saying that Bigfoot, or this species, have existed since humans have existed. So like for thousands and thousands of years. So right now she's explaining like, the urban legend Bigfoot is something that the Foundation made up to like hide these creatures a bit better. Because if they didn't, apparently, because they wanted to make Bigfoot think it's a funny character. Because if you made Bigfoot dangerous looking, then I guess there's a lot more people that would go after it. Well, why? We'll get to that. The information in the article that you've already read isn't entirely true. There are two direct lies and plenty of lies of omission. There is no such thing as the anomalous pseudo-disease referred to as -F1. Wait, excuse me, what? So that's the disease that they talk about. If you look at it, that you die from looking at it. What? Was this all a scam so that people will not go after Bigfoot? SB1000 does not possess a magical death aura. In fact, SCP-1000 does not directly exhibit any anomalous effect whatsoever. We also lied about SCP-1000's intelligence level. SCP-1000 aren't chimp level smart, they're smarter to be precise. They are exactly as smart as us. Oh yeah, by the way, this SCP got really high ratings. If you get, like, I would say between, like, if you get over 100, that's like when you're in the average. If you get below 100, then that's because either not many people have read about it, or it's just not good. I don't really care if it's good or not. I just enjoy any SCP I read. But if you get 1,800, that's a solid SCP. That's a Okay, so what would you do if I met a Bigfoot? What would you do if you met Bigfoot? Would you be scared? Well, I mean, from what I understand from like the urban legend Bigfoot, yeah, every 1,000, okay, X1000 entry is massive. Gotcha. Would I be scared of Bigfoot? I mean, there's so many different things being said about Bigfoot. But I feel like the idea of a humanoid ape just wandering around with giant feet is less creepy and more bizarre. But if he is aggressive, because of course there are versions of the urban legend that he's super aggressive and that he kills anybody who finds him, then yes, of course I would be scared, because he's a giant ape-like creature who can probably catch up to me easily. But if he's just a misunderstood animal that just tries to live by himself, then no. Then I just walk away and don't bother him. Now, if it's a Bigfoot like this, there's more information to come along. So first we learned that this Bigfoot apparently had this disease that kills you if you look at it. Now we know it's not the case, but she's about to give us the information of oh, but it's worse, or maybe even more stranger of a thing that they can do. So let's see here. That brings us to the lies of a mission. That's what this letter is for. The lies came from me, so I figured the truth should come from me as well. This is the story we got from the children of the sun who defected to us. It's a story we didn't refused to believe at first. As you've already read, the apes we call SCP-1000 evolved alongside us. We walked in the daytime, they walked in the nighttime. Oh yeah, they're also nocturnal, I forgot about that. Our nocturnal siblings in the shadows. But while we were still wandering hunter-gatherers, they changed. Like we would. A few thousand years later, tools, weapons, agriculture, domesticated animals, stable settlements, as humanity blinked in the Pleistocene sun, SCP-1000 populations exploded across the night. They blanked the planet in tens of billions. Oh, what? In tens of billions? That's a lot. That's a lot of Bigfoots walking around. They made things that we still can't comprehend, even though we thoroughly studied the surviving pieces. Organic technology. They made trees and birds of prey grow into fast-moving ships, herds of animals that became trains, bushes that became flying vehicles. From insects and pigeons, they made things equivalent to cell phones, televisions, computers, atomic bombs. The children describes vast shining cities stretching across glaciers and penetrating deepest caverns, grown skyships of ivory and spider silk, creatures tending them with hundreds of blinking eyes. Yeah, I can see why it's keto. I can see why it's keto now. The contest for the 7,000 slots being held right now, and an entry will be chosen by next month, with literally all of them being at least twice as big as this one. Oh boy. It's gonna take me a while to read through all 7,000 of them, huh? But hey, that's what this stream is. That's why I'm streaming them. I'm streaming 10 of them Saturday, Sundays, and that's why we do this stuff. And then in 15 years, I might have caught up. Who knows? But yeah, and I can see why they key the class now, because they managed to somehow do a lot of things similar to us, but with things that should not be possible. We were rare, like gorillas now, a few 100,000 left at best. We avoided the settlements just like wild animals today avoid ours. SCP-1000 understood we were intelligent like them, but avoided us just as we avoided them. Saw us as fairies, as gnomes, described as supernatural powers. Said we ate bad children while they slept in daylight. They fenced off our dwindling wild populations in conservatories, outlawed poaching, but in the underground consumed our bones as aphrodisiacs. Then the civilization fell, and we did it. By we, I don't mean the Foundation. By we, I mean humanity. That's kind of wild to think about, that these Bigfoots basically said to the children, if you don't behave, the human will come and they will take you away from us and eat you or kill you or something like that. To think that we became the urban legends for them, as is Bigfoot an urban legend for us. It's kind of wild to think about it. There were humans before humanity, as we know it was a thing. Yeah, true. The story is muddy. Supposedly, a trickster forest god showed humanity favor, showed us the master's tool and how to use them. Why we did it, we don't know. Perhaps they hunted us, perhaps we were simply afraid. Perhaps it was just that they fenced us in, unintentionally or not. We simply don't know what the truth is. Somehow we acquired SCP-100's own technology, and with it we instigated an SCP-class dominance shift in which humanity became the dominant species of Earth. We wiped out 70% of SCP-100 population in a single day. In a single day? Excuse me? One day? The Day of Flowers, the children called it. Supposedly every flower bloomed that day, while our enemies died in their sleep. Then we hunted the rest down, but we went further than just killing them. With a few of the more twisted of the SCP-100's devices, we drove the survivors mad, even those hiding beyond our reach. We trapped them in their own minds, blocking higher functions and leaving their bodies to fend for themselves like any ordinary ape. Oh my god. We slaughtered the living machines and burned the vast shining cities with SCP-100's bioweapons that reduced everything to slurry and dust that washed or blew away in spring rain and wind. That's kind of fucked. There was a species out there as intelligent as humans, developing just like humans did, and humanity decided to just kill it all off, just destroy it all. That is crazy. That's scary. We left no traces, not even our own memory. We turned one of the weapons on ourselves, wiped out any knowledge of SCP-100 and the greatest civilization the planet had ever seen. Only a few humans protected themselves from the effect, kept the forbidden knowledge just in case. The rest of us went back to being hunter-gatherers, none the wiser. Which brings us to today. You're going to read all about this in level 3 documentation, but I'll give you the short version here. SCP-100 are somehow regaining their forgotten intelligence and knowledge. Oh shit. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Imagine if they do and they fucking realize what humans did to them. They gonna start a war. Maybe they never truly lost it. We don't know. This is why the ever-increasing number of Bigfoot sightings is so worrying. Why the attempts at contact, however undecipherable, are even more worrying. Okay, so they're trying to contact humans. Interesting. Yes, SCP-100 are just like us. That's what makes them so dangerous. We wiped them from history and memory. We dissolved the civilization, we slaughtered most of the species. Just ask yourself, if they got a chance, what more would they do to us? Shit. Ooh, no. Oh no. Oh no, no. Addendum 56D. Instances of SCP-100 have tried to make contact with Foundation personnel on multiple occasions. Most of these attempts at contact have been expunged. Untranslated, though recent attempts show that some instances of SCP-100 are capable of communicating in English. And now we have my mind is slowly being blown. Oh, okay, we can just click on this and oh shit. Oh shit. Please don't be long. What is all this? Damn. Irrelevant Anon. I didn't even bother uploading it. I read the entirety of 914 experiment log. So now whenever I'm opening up any of these things, I'm just thinking to myself like, please don't be long. I read the entire thing and I recorded myself reading the entire thing. So, and the entire recording, every single experiment put together is 56 hours of material. And of course YouTube is like, yeah, you can't upload that. So that sucks. I recorded that for nothing now. And also I have no ways to like, and Premiere has like a 24-hour video limit, so it was like all that, so many different things an issue with it. So I recorded it for nothing. But hey, I read the whole thing. So that's why I'm like always panicking whenever I open these things up. I'm like, please, for the love of Christ, don't be that long. Certain acquired documents contain extensive reference to SCP-1000. Relevant is that the documents appear to be composed by entities associated directly with the location known as the Wanderer's Library. Context of significance of document details not yet clarified. Okay, let's see what we have. The certain acquired documents. Let's see what we have here. The Wandering Boy and Other Captives, and we also have... Why is this so different? Welcome, Wanderer. No folding, spandling, omitting your fellow Patreons. Browse the library. This is way different. Interesting. I'm not gonna... Okay, I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read the certain acquired documents. Doesn't seem too long. I will read that one. The Wandering Boy and Other Captives. Since you seem to believe that this information is of the utmost importance, I have agreed to collect it for you yet again. I will, though, note that this information is just as easily procured by one of your lot, and I must insist that you cease with these endless questions and mindless prattling when you are well aware of the work which we are currently doing. Disturbing us during the millennial inventory is, frankly, an affront to your efficiency. You may, if you wish, contact us again when the inventory is finished. We will be done, by my estimations, around 2431 AD, using the time scale of your home. Until then, please let us work. Jericho Banel, 7th Chief Activist of the Library. Pitter-patter little feet, skittering in blood and shit. Well, that's not what I expected to read. Running from the east to west, finding friends to meet. There's a footnote which are down here. From lost remnants to the fragment discovered in Prussia in the aftermath of the local 13 years. This seems like a lot of things like are not really much associated with the Foundation, it seems. How lonely must those days now grow, looked away in silver walls, longing for an open door, to step into the jailer's halls. Okay. The Wandering Boy is the name given to the most recent reincarnation of the High Golem, the creature first made when the blood of Abel spilled in the dirt at the base of Cain's altar. Abel and Cain are also two characters in this world anyway, so I'm wondering if they're talking about the Bible versions or the SCP versions. As many know, the mud took on a life of its own, continuing through the years. Like most ancient beings of its ilk, it is unable to be killed through normal means, as it will simply recreate itself in a new form at a later date. It was found by the jailers in a building which sat on the ruins of one of the ancient cities of Mu. When we last spoke with the High Golem, it was uninterested in humanity or making contact with its kin. We must believe, unfortunately, that it is no longer wishes to make contact. You are advised to avoid it. The Wonders Library is an entirely different rabbit hole to the SCP Foundation, focusing more on traditional fantasy and lore. It's a Serpent's Hand main beta operation. Okay, I'm probably not gonna go too deep into this thing then, because there's like a lot of more things to read. But I mean, but at the same time, this is not too long, so I mean, I don't know. I'll just read through it real quick. Oh, my children, how I wish that you were more like your other father, whom I love. Oh, okay, this is also the footnotes here are here, not down below. Gotcha. How I wish that you were more like your other father, whom I loved and who loved me in return. How I wish that in sacrificing him to he, you would be given life like unto that he had, standing and walking and wandering the earth to and fro, racing the animals full of blood. But you are birthed of blood and love, and yours is a bloody birth of much suffering and pain, and I bear the mark of this suffering in my body and on my forehead. May you forever dwell in this world and die only by the hand that birthed us both. Glory unto him and her mercy. From my children, my suffering, by Cain the Wanderer. And the ancient ones. The ancient ones were one group of wanderers. Let me just look at some stuff. Like, just skimming through this, I don't see anything about like the apes. So I'm just going to completely skip this. Addendum 270, because I want to read another one before Shira goes to bed. And before she leaves me alone to read 8 more afterwards. 276-A, numerous anomalous objects with a known connection to SCP-1000 data expunged. Prior cyclical iteration, as one example, SCP-2273 may not have point of origin in a parallel timeline, but instead a prior iteration, SCP-2932, SCP-2511, and other sources of living cultural insight into SCP-1000 or a variation, all present consistent inconsistencies which may be used to create a fuller picture of the nature of these iterations, though conclusions are uncertain. Addendum 276-Q, Special Report Data Expunged. This unnumbered black box anomalous anchored underneath the structure. Oh wait, that's 2000, we're not gonna read that. Is likely the most significant anomalous object known to have been utilized. You have another viewer here, you won't be alone. But yeah, but I mean, still. Like, it's your first time seeing the being part of the stream, and there's gonna be a lot more, and then you're gonna fall asleep, and then I'm just gonna be here like, great. Now I'm gonna tell her tomorrow all the things that she missed out on, so. The Wonders Lab isn't a separate canon or hub, it's an entirely different master website. Gotcha. Central to understanding SCP-1000 anomalous capabilities, including capabilities not developed directly but accessed from prior data expunged, modern day relevance to the Foundation to society at large in a scenario of general containment failure. Thank you. You don't have to stay too long, like at least stay for another one. 80, unless it's like super long, and then you don't have to stay for that. Log 8065-X1. The following is a rough translation of a recent SCP-100 attempt at communication with Foundation personnel on blank. Oh yeah, by the way, Shira, I have a stream deck right in front of me. In London, I had it all it was all prepared and set up. So with this, I would usually press a button and you would hear like a beep. So, and for data expunge, you would usually also do like a voice changing stuff. But I forgot to back up all the settings from London, so when I came back here, it was all, of course, all gone. So it's now on my London computer, not here. Okay, see attached documentation. We forgive you. Given choice for now, not forever. Let us back in. That's kind of okay. There's two types of viewers here: the one who's extremely informed and the one who literally has no knowledge of a toddler on this topic. I mean, hey, I'm also not fully informed. I mean, I read 1,000 SCPs and I'm creating an SCP show, but doesn't mean I'm informed. All right, that was the first one. That was Bigfoot. And I'm gonna put Bigfoot in the list. You won't see the list until the end. The end is is my list of like how much I enjoyed reading them, not which one is better. It's not about which one is better. It's the one I think is like cooler. Well, cooler is saying better. But you know what I mean? One I think is like more enjoyable to read. At the end, the 10 I will read. I will enjoy all of them in a way or in one way or another. But some of them will probably enjoy more. 1001 Ya-Te-Veo. Okay. It's Euclid. Okay, dude. So Euclid, Shira, means basically containing them just takes a bit more effort. Sometimes it can break out, sometimes but it's like really, it's unpredictable, but you can still contain them well, you know. But it can still happen to break out. Safe usually means that they don't break out at all. You don't have to worry about them breaking out, or you have to like trigger something for them to break out. Euclid can mean like trigger is either like random or it's like beyond the Foundation's control, or they break out sometimes and you don't know why, or they do know why and it just happens, you know, stuff like that. Okay, SCP-1001 is to be kept at Biosite 103 in a greenhouse reinforced as per Dangerous Organisms Protocol 12A. It is to remain rooted in soil core 9 meter diameter times 4 meter deep, in which it was removed from the site of discovery. It is to be watered and fertilized sporadically as detailed in document 1001-2. No object capable of producing hazardous sounds, sonic weaponry, audio-based mimetic effects, high decibel infrasound, etc. is permitted within hearing distance of Biosite 103. The object is to be fed 20 kilograms of nutritional supplements, 1001-R-8 once monthly. Okay. The precise formula for a nutritional supplement 101-R-8 is detailed in document -2. But it bears repeating that the supplement protein content is not to be less than 40% by mass, and that all protein is derived from pigs, dogs, or comparably intelligent species. Okay, so whatever this SCP is, you gotta feed it. You gotta make sure it is fed, because probably when you don't feed it, it probably goes a bit cuckoo for crazy puffs. Who knows what happens. These guidelines may be altered as necessary when testing requires that SCP-1001 be hungry. Bones, horns, and other hard tissues are never to be provided except as part of duly supervised tests. All tests involving provision of hard tissue are to be pre-approved by both Dr. Glastonbury and the current security director of Site 103. Okay, interesting. I mean, the name. When I saw the name, like with Bigfoot, I was able to do some I had like ideas of what it could be. I said like, it's either like our Bigfoot or some sort of different variation of Bigfoot. But Ya-Te-Veo, I have no idea with what I should say with this. Yeah, Google for Crazy Puffs is my friend Alex. He invented that for me, like. So, and I've been using it ever since. SCP-1001 is a single plant apparently belonging to an undescribed species of Welwitschia. Okay, let me see how that looks like. Welwitschia. Okay. Oh. I think I've seen. No, I did not see this actually in real life. Like physically, I didn't see this. But okay, I understand. Okay, that's the plant. Unlike other Welwitschia species, it has a tree-like trunk which broadens into a woody taproot 180 centimeter wide and 5 meter long, 2 meter of which which protrudes above the surface. Also unique to SCP-1001 are its leaves, which are up to 6 meter long, lined with barbed prickles, and capable of secreting a sticky pitch-like resin, and which are capable of motion with considerable dexterity and strength. Please don't tell. Excuse me. Please don't tell me those things. The leaves fucking grab people. They're like, you're mine now. Yeah, because they are able to apparently move. The leaves are, and they have they're a little sticky, and they have prickles on it. Thank you for the bless you. SCP-1001 is geographically disjunct from its known relatives, having been found in the Andean high desert near Blanc, Peru. SCP-1001's trunk and taproot are hollow, opening to a rounded apertures at its apex and filled with a highly caustic solution of hydrochloric acid and digestive enzymes comparable to those found in the pictures of Nepenthes. Safe leave it in the box alone, you don't have to worry about it. You can leave it in the box and you have to keep watching it to make sure it won't break out. Key to design a custom-made, highly specific box just to feel at ease. Yeah, that's the classic example. I think the Foundation itself kind of says that something similar along those lines. But of course, like from like reading so many, it's basically like safe is like safe. Usually safe because it can't really do anything unless you make it do it, or it's just doesn't, or it's just not harmful at all. And Euclid is, yeah, like you have to just pay attention because sometimes it will come out, but you're never really sure. And with Kita, yeah, you just gotta be 100% cautious. It's pure. Put the budget in it. Put some budget into the security. But yeah, that's basically a good, like a short way of saying it. I'm pretty sure the Foundation has a similar, like, it's been 2 years since I read the description of safe Euclid and Kita, but I'm pretty sure that's basically it. What the Foundation says. Caustic solution of hydrochloride. Yeah. The solution is capable of reducing 50 kilograms of soft animal tissue to a thin slurry within 20 minutes of submersion. So I'm not 50 kilos, but give it 40 minutes and I will be slime basically. While it's capable of photosynthesis, SCP-1001 leaves are singularly inefficient, producing only approximately 50% of the plant's caloric requirements. Likewise, its roots are unusually ineffective at uptake of organic and mineral nutrients. To mitigate this deficiency, SCP-1001 is an obligate carnivore. Aha, that is what I was worried about. It uses its prehensile leaves to capture passing prey and pull it into the central cavity where it is digested. Also, Ya-Te-Veo translates to "I see you now." Oh, from what language or what? Like, how do you know that? Like, unless it's said down here somewhere, but that's also that doesn't help the creep factor. Doesn't calm me down from the creep factor. I mean, the fact that I can just walk by one of these plants and those guys just, you ain't going nowhere. Hey, freak show, you ain't going nowhere. I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime. Spanish native speaker here. Oh, okay. Nice, nice. Okay, here we go. SCP-101, SCP-1001's intelligence is highly debatable. Its basic hunting tactics resemble those of, oh god, Paralachthes spp. Flounders. It burrows its longest leaves in the sand and waits for a sufficient large animal, at least 40 kilos, to pass by, whereupon it emerges suddenly and captures the passing prey. When this tactic does not produce results sufficiently quickly, however, SCP-1001 resorts to sophisticated audio mimicry. Oh god, no! Not the mimicry! The amount of SCPs I read that fucking mimic people to eat them or kill them in ways is... I read some horrible shit. Also, it just reminds me of skinwalkers and all that stuff. It is capable of reproducing literally any sound it has ever been exposed to, as well as recombining known sounds into novel phrases. It has been observed using the latter capacity to lure human prey, speaking in the voices of other humans known to the prey's subject. It means of sound production or unknown. No. Imagine, dude. Imagine. You just like out there, just chilling in a bit of like a beach area or like any areas that those things grow. Where do they grow? Where do you guys fucking grow? Desert. Okay. Imagine you just go. You chill in the desert. You're with your friend. Your friend goes like, "Oh, let me just go real quick, do some business over that dune." And you're like, okay, no problem, I'll wait here. And next thing you know, you hear him yell. You hear him yell for help. And you fucking dash. And you don't see him. You're like, what the fuck? Where is he? And then you hear him yell for help further down the line. You dash again, and then you see these like weird plant-like things, and you're like, okay, I'm pretty sure I heard him yell here. And then you step forward, and next thing you know, leaves just around you, just slowly melting you down into a slushy. Like it's no. Also interesting are SCP-1001's prey preferences. It prefers to consume intelligent animals, especially those capable of tool use or of building artificial structures. Humans are always its preferred prey, but in the absence it has accepted primates, dogs, parrots, pigs, beavers, ants, and nest-building birds. Note that many of these species fall well below its usual size threshold, some to such a degree that capturing and digesting them produces a net energy loss. If I had a cent for every SCP that mimics voices to eat humans, I would have like $1. Yeah, dude, I would have $1. I mean, the amount of I read about are probably not $1 yet, but you sound like you probably heard, read, seen, watched enough SCPs to like have at least $2. Oh my god, net loss. I was reading net loss. Fuck. Its method of detecting intelligence is unknown, but apparently not based on experience, since it has attacked squid and small dolphins with eagerness comparable to its attacks on humans and Andean monkeys. SCP-1001 is incapable of digesting hard tissues completely. The bones of its prey are gradually excreted through channels near the top edges of the codex. Once excreted, these bones are invariably picked up with one of the object's leaves and moved to a location on or beneath the soil surface surrounding SCP-1001. The object arranges the bones in complex patterns which are demonstrably useless for water capture and, being primarily subterranean, do not aid in attracting prey. The resemblance to the Nazca dildo expunged and the devotional mandalas of SCP dildo expunged have led Dr. Glastonbury to hypothesize that they may be representational or even dildo expunged anomalous effects. Okay, that's another SCP. At the time of its discovery by the SCP Foundation in 18 blank, SCP-1001 was located at the center of a roughly circular bone pattern 18 meters in diameter and 8 meters deep. Blank 7. Oh wait, so. Okay, blank 7T. No wait. Yeah, blank 7% of which was composed of. For some reason, a blank fucked me over. My brain couldn't comprehend the blank anymore. Was composed of human bone. Nearby native tribes professed religious fear of the object were provided it with regular human sacrifices. Great. Of course, that's what was going on. I mean, yeah, I don't know how I would react if a plant fucking talked to me and tried to like convince me to give food to it. I guess I would also just be like, But reading the wiki, since there were only 3,000 SCPs, there are 7,999 slots now, so yeah, plenty of time to catch up. Yeah, I started reading SCPs 2020, so of course that was when I believe that was when 5,000 SCPs existed, and then of course I'm pretty sure with the COVID situation, a lot of people got to writing. A lot of people were like, yeah, you know what? I have ideas. The sacrificial ritual has finally divulged. Foundation interrogators required attendance priests to escort the sacrifice towards SCP-1001 along a strictly delineated avenue later found to correspond closely to certain features of the subterranean bone pattern. Deviations from the pattern were said to be punished by capture and consumption of the attendants as well as the sacrifice, but a successful ritual could result in only one person being taken. In rare cases, a priest will be directed to move a particular bone to position just outside the object's reach. Correct placement will be rewarded either with an unspecified gift or a longer reprieve before the next required sacrifice. Oral history state the ritual to have been originally demanded by the tree itself, did it redacted, spoke in the words of law, did it redacted. And that was 1001. Ya-Te-Veo. Okay. Put that in the list. Gonna put it right here. That was an interesting one. I think that was interesting. It's a bit freaky. The idea of, you know, a plant being like, just being like, give me meat, and you just like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll give you meat, yeah, no problem. No problem. How much? 40 kilos. That's a lot of meat. You can give me a child. No.
Hello there.
Oh, hey. Thank you for the hello there, biddies. Yeah, like that's what the plant says. That's what the plant says. Like, you just walk by, one of the plants just goes, "Hello there." You're like, "What the fuck?" Trying something out. Yeah, no worries. Have fun. The misers. Okay, what could the misers be? Let's theorize. Of course, Irrelevant Anon knows probably all the SCPs, or at least, you know, has read all of them. So I'm not sure if you have them all in memory, but you probably know all of them. The misers. What could the misers be? Okay, let's go a bit crazy. You know what? I'm gonna say some random shit with that title. It's a group of mice that are super intelligent and the plan to take over the world. It's Pinky in the brain. That's what it is. It's Pinky in the brain, but all of them are just brain. There's no Pinky. It's just brains. All of them are fucking intelligent. The hive mind of mice that just want to kill people. So that's my theory of what the mice is. Let's see what it is. 250. It is higher rated than Ya-Te-Veo. So, and it's another Euclid. So here we go. Pretty short. All object. Okay, it's objects. Fuck. Damn it. So there goes my mice theory. Alright, I gotta go to sleep now. Good night, everyone. Okay, I'll tell you. Well, okay. Here's the thing, Shira. I'm gonna upload this to my YouTube, like I always did. I'm gonna make a thumbnail for this. So, if you want, you can watch the rest of the SCPs on YouTube afterwards, or I can give you like a short summary tomorrow. Remember, if anyone can do that, then the machines have officially begun to pass as humans. Yeah, no, fair enough. Because even I struggle with just 1,000. That's why I have the SCP Explain tab, where it's just like all in like, I can just be like, oh yeah, what was this number again? And then be like opposition, and then it's just like a short explanation, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this one. So that stuff, like, yeah. But yeah, Shiro, it's up to you if you want to watch the rest of the stream on YouTube tomorrow, or if you just want me to like give you like a brief summary of what you missed out on. Okay, all objects tied to instances of SCP-1002 are to be contained in a brightly lit 6 meter squared or 20 feet. Wait, yeah, 20 feet squared chamber. -6 is to be contained in a suitable size hangar. No D-class personnel to come within 10 meters of the containment chamber or hangar. No personnel involved with end of the month termination for D-class personnel to come within 10 meters of the containment chamber or hangar. All interaction with SCP-102 instances are to be done via robotic drone. SCP-102's containment chamber is to be guarded by 3 members of security who have not yet killed in a combat situation. The same will be done with SCP or with -6 containment hangar. So, irrelevant. I have to ask you. What's your reason for watching my stream? Because I'm curious, since you only, like, majority of the time when people pop in to watch the SCP stream is because they don't know what SCP is, or they do know about it but they never had a chance to like read about it, or they found out thanks to me and then like they want to know more, so they just watch me because it's like a chill vibe. But since you already read majority of it. What's your reason? You just want like have like a trip down memory lane and just see somebody like react to all this? All interaction with SCP-1002 instances are to be done via robotic drone. SCP-1002's containment chamber is to be guarded by 3 members of security who have yet not become in combat situation. Oh god. There's combat situations. The same will be done with SCP... Oh, I already read that. I just completely forgot. SCP-1002 is an abnormal shadow belonging to a group of 6 objects currently in Foundation custody. That's another thing that we had a bunch of times. Shadow creatures. Each of these objects possess the shadow of a humanoid individual dressed in a law enforcement uniform.
Baba Booey.
Jesus Christ. You didn't have to like do that to me like that. Thank you again for the bits. I was imagining the shadowy creatures, and next thing you know, I hear Baba Booey coming out of nowhere. Jump scared the shit out of me. Objects tied to SCP-1002 currently in containment are -1. A grandfather clock retrieved from blank possesses the shadow of a medieval knight. Good night. Sleep well. Have sweet dreams. -2. A small pole retrieved from blank possesses the shadow of a member of the blank PD. -3. A large printer retrieved from blank possesses the shadow of a Roman soldier. Oh, so okay, the objects have shadows of humans. That must be fucking confusing. Like imagine how you just lift up this bottle, and you just okay, maybe not the bottle because it's transparent. This can, you hold it up against the light, and you look at the shadow, and then instead of a can, it's a shadow of a human being in your hand. You're like, what? You'll be like, what? -4. A pigeon. Always interesting to see someone discover the SCP fandom. You actually think about what you read instead of mentally reacting, and you're actually reading the site instead of watching those shitty kid-friendly animation channels. Oh yeah, those. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as you heard, I wrote the scripts for the first season of a web series I'm planning to do with the SCP Foundation. I studied film, so I've written 6 scripts, and well, of different SCPs. Most of them are, some of them are more known, some of them are lesser known. I decided to like go for some like have a bit of like a mix, and I decided to do this similar thing as like Love, Death and Robots, where each episode can be a different genre, but it's still connected to the SCP Foundation. It is a prequel series called Unsecured, Uncontained, Unprotected, basically. And it's kind of like a sequel series. Like it's supposed to be like when the SCPs for like kind of like popped up and a regular human being found it. Of course, some of it will have some creative liberty. Some of it will be a bit different than what the Foundation has put out there as a thing. But most of it I will try to connect back to the Foundation. Like the first 2 scripts, I will make references to the actual Foundation or like how the SCP was found by the Foundation. While some of them I might not do that at all. And the last episode is basically a full-on like the Foundation's fully involved type of stuff. And then we'll see how it goes. And the more SCPs I read, the more material I have for the second season. The first season is going to do 6 episodes, each individual lengths, each individual genre, different actors, maybe even like different directors I will hire, so on and so forth. So yeah, I hope I can work on it next year, or at least get the crew together this year, and then like start working on production. I should do like some sort of trailer or teaser so that people like you who are deep in the SCP Foundation get to know about this and are aware of it, and also then people who don't know the SCP Foundation have a chance to get into it and maybe like see this thing that looks interesting to them. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, but that's the plan with the SCP Foundation, for me at least. A kitchen knife retrieved from blank blank possesses the shadow of a security guard at the blank casino. Dash 6, a Boeing 737 retrieved from blank possesses the shadow of a member of a SWAT team. That must be so weird, seeing a whole plane and then the shadow is just a regular sized human being. That must be so weird. The object tied to SCP 102 do not behave in an anomalous manner with the exception of the shadow. SCP-1002 tied to these objects are dormant and stationary until an individual who has committed what is socially considered to be a crime in the last 6 months comes within 10 meters of the object they are tied to. At this point, SCP-102 instances will become active and manifest as a dark humanoid figure similar in appearance to the dormant stage. Aha. That's not terrifying. SCP-102 will then attempt to pursue the targeted individual. That's not terrifying. This shadowy creature is fucking coming after you. SCP-102 instances have demonstrated high level of agility and appear to be able to track the target through walls. Great. Fantastic. If the targeted individual moves 10 meters away from the SCP-102 instance, it will return to a dormant state at its original object. So you just gotta get... Wait. So you gotta get further away than 10 meters. But it's super agile and can just pass through walls. So you cannot just try to weave through buildings. You just need to you need a straight path and just hope you're faster. Get one of those like electric scooters and just book it. If the individual is caught by the manifestation, it will inflict a physical punishment directly proportionate to the crime the individual has committed. Despite the severity of this physical punishment, the victim will remain alive and conscious until taken 10 meters away from the manifestation. Through careful study, researchers have discovered punishment tied to the following crimes. Minor crime, littering, etc. Removal and severing of fingers. So basically, stop right there, you criminal scum. Yeah, basically. Oh man, I need. Thank you for telling me. I should add that to my future sound bites down for my stream deck, or for the bits for Twitch. I should probably add that. You know what? Since we're here, since you said it, might as well do it real quick right now, while I'm reading the rest. Removal and severing of fingers just because you were littering? Jeez, that's a... I thought maybe like you get punched, but no. They just decided to like, wait, what? New increases, adds, ref share. This can now earn 50%. Okay, fine. What? Streaming tools? No, stream extensions. Shoplifting, non-fatal removal of fingers, tongue, and eye. Hey, ho. Hey, whoa. There's no need for that. There's absolutely no need for that. My extensions, sound alerts, configure, open dashboard. Burglary, non-fatal removal of hands, ears, tongues, and my whole hand, dude. My whole goddamn hand. Assault, non-fatal heavy damage to the legs, removal of hands, ears, tongue, and eyes. See now, littering and this, I think like littering, removal, and severing of fingers is a bit extreme. I can understand why with like assault they're going like full ham, like not giving you any excuse. Like no, you going some stuff will be missing from you. But like with shoplifting and burglary, at the end, like that's like stuff that like some people are forced into that type of stuff in that type of situation. So that's why I'm like, really? The whole hand with assault? I get it. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, somebody got attacked, you know, so like, of course. Of course, it also depends on the situation again. I guess if somebody insulted you and then you punched them, then I don't think you should be the one deserving of getting your legs damaged. No scum. So this one, let's see here.
Stop right there, criminal scum!
Yeah.
Stop right there, criminal scum!
Yeah, that's a bit louder, so I'm taking this one. I would say, yeah, let's do that. Add sound. Okay, for 75 bits, that sound has now been added. Let me just move it up. There we go. There it is now. It's not part of the biddies. Well, actually, wait, hold on. I need to do like save. There we go. Now it should be. It should be now. Testing browser source.
Bruh.
That's not the one. Oops. Testing browser source.
Stop right there, criminal scum!
There we go. Works. Murder. Non-fatal removal of arms, legs, ears, and tongues and eyes. Non-fatal. Okay. Mass murder. Non-fatal. All of it's non-fatal. That's fucking crazy. Non-fatal removal of arms, legs, ears, tongue, and eyes. Subject was then disemboweled and, using the subject's internal organs, suspended from the ceiling of the testing chamber. Movement was detected from the subject for 2 minutes before they were removed from the area by a member of security. Okay, this... The Mises is a bit more hardcore than I expected. Of course, my version of the Mises was a bunch of mice. Tapeworm child. I mean, the first thing that came to my mind is that it's a tapeworm that becomes your child. It pops out after a while, and it sees you as its mom or dad. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I don't know if there's any like other way of seeing that, or it's just like, do tapeworms reproduce inside you? I don't know. Because that could also be a thing, like it's a tapeworm that gets pregnant inside you and just decides to like have a fucking family inside your whole body. So like, well, yeah, the first thing I thought was like it's a tapeworm that comes out and then just sees you as mama. So who knows? 297. It's more highly rated than the Mises. Keter. And okay, we had 2 Keters and 2 Euclids so far. The Foundation currently has 10 instances of SCP-1003-2, designated -2-A-K in its possession, all of which are held in separate, heavily guarded high-security cells at Bioresearch Area 13. All personnel at Bioresearch Area 13 are to undergo regular compulsory testing for signs of SCP-1003 infection. Personnel wishing to access -2-A-K may only do so for the express purpose of research, must have level 4 security clearance, and must have written permission from 05-blank beforehand. They are to wear biohazard suits when entering -2-A-K cells and go through an intensive disinfection process afterwards. No animals of the order Carnivora are to be allowed at Bioresearch Area 13 under any circumstances. okay, already setting the security bar high. It's really, they don't want you to fuck up. They don't want you to mess up with this one. -1 is an adult tapeworm of the species Echinococcus granulosus, known for causing hydatid disease. Like other of its species, -1 inhabits the small intestines of the carnivores, typically canids, where it produces eggs that are passed in the host's feces. The eggs can survive up to blank years in the outside environment. So yeah, it's a tapeworm that does basically gives birth inside you. When the eggs enter the gastrointestinal tract of a human subject, hereby designated the intimate host, the consumption of the contaminated food, they hatch into larvae which burrow into the host tissue. It is at the stage that SCP-1003's anomalous properties begin to manifest. Instead of developing into cysts, the larvae develop into creatures which resemble human embryos. Okay, this is not what I expected. The fact that they gave birth into you. Okay, so it looks like regular tapeworms do the same thing then, which is already like, that's kind of creepy. That's disgusting. But yeah, they become embryos. Damn. Oh no. Hell no. Hereby designated SCP-103-2. The vast majority of -2 specimens die before they have a chance to develop. Good. Those that survive are usually those that are embedded in nutrient-rich tissue, such as hepatic tissue. As they develop, they absorb nutrients from the surrounding tissue, which often cause problems for the intimate host. I think the biggest thing that causes a problem is the fact that you have a tapeworm inside you that fakes itself into an embryo. That's the problem. -2's development mostly follows the pattern of a normal human prenatal development, but at a faster rate. By 8 weeks, it is as mature as a 3-week-old neonate, although it is similar in size to an 8-week-old embryo, approximately 13 to 16 centimeters. Once it has reached this stage, it will actively consume the intimate host from within using sharp hooked teeth. Ugh. Not much to say. It's just gross. Yeah, it's nasty. I mean, tapeworm itself is already disgusting, and now you want to tell me there's one inside them that just becomes your baby, but then eats you out from the inside out. -2 growth is accelerated to an even greater extent as it is doing this. By the time it has fully consumed the intimate host, usually after blank minutes or so, it will have developed into a child. The physical age of the child typically ranges from 10 months to 11 years, depending on the mass of the intimate host. Though in extreme cases where the intimate host is morbidly obese, it can be as high as 13 to 15 years. Imagine giving birth to a 15-year-old. The fact that women give birth to begin with is already impressive enough. It's insane. It's crazy. It's respectable. But if you ever come across a person that gave birth to a fucking 15-year-old, then something's just not right. There's no way. Once -2 is finished, it will lose its hooked teeth along with its cannibalistic tendencies from where on. It will be functionally indistinguishable from a human in every respect, with no knowledge or memories of having been a parasite. It will even possess learned skills, example language, that would be expected of a child at a parent age, despite there being no way it could have learned them. Instances of -2 are usually taken into orphanages and sometimes adopted by foster parents. The only anomalous properties at this stage are the DNA is somehow still identical to that of Echinococcus granulus, and that their body fluids, including sweat and saliva, contain tapeworm protoscolex, which infect carnivores and develop into -1, thus continuing the cycle. Ew. No. No. No, 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 no. Ooh, ugh. Listen, I gotta admit though, it's disgusting, but it's a good horror creature. This is a good horror creature to think about. Like, just the concept of a tapeworm child, and in the moment it's just sweating, it just creates more tapeworm. And it just eats all the embryos and inside you, and then just addendum testing of SCP-1003 with animals such as cattle and sheep, which are common intimate hosts of Echinocus cornulus, have found that its anomalous properties only manifest in humans, and in all other cases that its life cycle is normal and causes hepatitis disease in the intermediate. I can't say that word anymore. Why? What's happening with me? Intermediate host. There we go. Of course, the anomalous effect only happens within humans. It's creative to say the least. It's definitely nasty, but hello. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna turn off my fan because now it's getting like. I'm gonna turn off the fan for now. It's like you know when you get chilly, or like there's a nice chill wind, and it's late at night, so you just get tired. I still have 6 more to read, so I can get tired now. Factory porn. Oh god, this one. Oh, okay. Factory porn. What could this entail? It could be. I have absolutely no idea. I have no idea what to where to start. Like, of course, the word porn is in it, so naturally my mind's going into the pervert section. I mean, I don't need the word porn to do that for me, but factory porn, like just when somebody says like factory food, it's like basically like a lot of like a batch of food created at once by a factory. So that's why I imagine with this, like it's like somehow like porn material or like actions happening at a rapid rate, like in a dangerous, like it's just not in a good way. Okay, it's 18 plus. You know what? Just to be sure, I don't want it to have anything in it that, you know, might be dangerous on Twitch, but it doesn't look like it. We're good. I think we're good. Double checking that. There's a red thing here. Double checking if this is okay. Yeah. Okay. We're good. There's nothing to worry about. Twitch. There's nothing to worry about. Don't ban me. Save. The first save out of 10 that we're going to read. Although out of 5 we already read is the first one. SCP-1005 is to be maintained at Site 17 in a 3-meter cubed holding room equipped with a dim lighting. SCP-1005 has no nutritional requirements aside from the need to maintain hydration levels. Humidity in holding chamber should be kept at minimum of 70% when possible, and at least 1 liter of water provided for consumption daily. SCP-1005 also does not need to sleep, but has requested a chair in which to relax. When not undergoing study, granted. SCP-1005 also does not produce any waste, losing water only to evaporation, thus minimal cleanup is required. SCP-1005 has volunteered to give its chamber a monthly cleaning to prevent a buildup of paint residue under consideration. The factory is another group, and literally all that is known about it is that they make fucked up stuff. Yeah, I remember the factory. I wouldn't be able to tell you right now which SCPs I read in the first 1,000 that have to do with the factory, but so if that's what, so if the factory porn is basically, if that's a reference to that group, then yeah, I can see it's gonna be a wild one. Hey, I heard you were a wild one. Ooh. Due to ongoing good behavior and amicable attitude, SCP-1005 has been granted permission to explore non-secured section of Site-17 and utilize social rooms, provided it is accompanied by at least one Level 2 researcher and one Level 1 security agent. Here. Update. By request of maintenance crew, SCP-1005 is required to wear covering over his feet when leaving its chamber. And here we have a picture of a good old SCP-101. Yeah, look at that. SCP-101, excuse me, 105. I'm not sure why I said 1. Undergoing repair in holding chamber after test. 16 with level 0 assistant blank. Okay. SCP-1005 is a sapient humanoid entity composed of semi-solid blue paint, with exact shades ranging from near white to deep navy. The surface of SCP-1005 has an average tensile strength, approximately 75% that of human skin. This includes its clothing. SCP-1005 is unable to consciously control the viscosity or shape of its overall form beyond the normal motion of a humanoid body. It can, however, control its outer layer to a point where it can choose whether or not its paint will smear on contacting the surfaces. The degree to which SCP-1005 is able to control itself in such a manner becomes lessened if overhydrated. Okay, I feel like I have an understanding where this is going, but let's continue reading. Wait, did I? Oh, I did. Yeah, you're right. Okay, I'm reading the Painted Man. I was wondering, like, what? Okay, yeah, I don't know how that happened. Well, let's just read the Painted Man real quick, and then we go back to factory porn. Yeah, see, this is why I turned the fan off, because clearly I'm getting a bit tired. SCP-1005 is in the shape of a bald human male, approximately 1.9 meter tall, and has demonstrated the ability to speak with a deep and resonant voice. Despite this, SCP-1005 has no gender in physical structure or personal identity. The apparent clothing is integrated with additive skin, save for the shirt at the sleeves and lower hem, and in the plants of below the ankles. Only SCP-1005 shoes are fully unique. It is believed that they were created separately from the rest of SCP-1005 from the beginning. The process by which SCP-1005 was animated and remains so is not known. By its own admission, SCP-1005 only remembers becoming aware only a few minutes before its reclamation during a raid at an auction being held by Marshall College Dog. Of course it's them. Marshall College Dog, where it was up for bid alongside several items which had been under Foundation investigation, specifically dildo expunged. The amount of times I fucking read those 3 words. Specifically dildo expunged, as SCP-1005 originally had no sense of self-worth, identity, or purpose. The Mobile Task Force enacting the raid was able to convince SCP-1005 that it belonging to the Foundation had been stolen. It willingly entered custody and was transferred to the MTF staging area before permanent relocation to Site-17. To date, SCP-1005 has been extremely cooperative, with researchers showing a polite and professional attitude. SCP-1005 lacks most complex emotions beyond levels of satisfaction and confidence, and has demonstrated only limited facial expression outside of movement required to speak. Additionally, SCP-1005 seems to lack the ability to understand abstract concepts. It is perfectly able to count, speak fluent English with a slight Northern Midwest American accent, and can perform simple tasks, complicated mathematics, emotional response, and existential topics such as religion leave SCP-1005 confused, usually stating that it simply does not understand. The only driving force behind SCP-1005 is its desire to make its owners happy with it, usually through cooperating with testing protocols, but also while serving as entertainment or still life living artwork for personnel during recreational periods. Researchers with clearance level 2 or higher access are advised to read document 105-01478 for an abbreviated listing of testing logs concerning SCP-1005. And I'm going to read this real quick here. These are very short. Short form testing logs, including for references for material from now. The new personnel assigned to SCP-1005. Long form documentation and associated audio-video records available in recording records holding. -4. Oversaturation. Dr. Blank. Test record. A volume of water was introduced to SCP-1005 in excess of normal daily regimen via oral intake. At 2 liters, subject surface was beginning to visibly run and smear. At 4 liters, subject recorded feeling heavy, movement sluggish, and clotting. Method of introducing changed to misting sprays at 5 liters. Subject has difficulty remaining upright and manipulating objects. Experiment held at 6.2 liters due to the threat of total loss of cohesion. When allowed time to recover and granted assistance with minor reconstruction, SCP-1005 described the overall experience as unpleasant and that it was made to think more slowly. So, getting too much water on it just makes it like sluggish. Dehydration. Dr. Blank. SCP-1005 was brought into a testing chamber with a relative humidity of less than 1% and temperature of 43 degrees Celsius and placed beneath additional bright lighting and directed at a heat lamp. Subject was recorded as claiming to be uncomfortable before advanced dehydration rendered it immobile after approximately 30 minutes. Subject successfully revived through rehydration efforts. Subject claimed to have lost awareness shortly after total cessation of movement, only to regain when rehydrated. This appears to be the way it understands consciousness. Review section. Dr. Blank, Research Assistant Blank. SCP-1005 brought into the examination room and asked to lay on the table and remain still during the procedure. Though through use of sculpting tools, researchers make extensive examination of SCP-1005's internal structure. Most organs aesthetically present but non-functional, notably the intestinal tract is extremely simplified. Most minor organs such as appendix and glands are missing, and the brain is externally represented but is a solid mass within. Additionally, the subject's bloodstream carried an exceptionally watered-down slurry of paint with a more direct connection to stomach. This explains how SCP-1005 keeps a mostly homogeneous level of hydration. SCP-1005 was aware during the entirety of the examination. Subject reported no pain, only discomfort, and was fully aware of any and all pieces that were still attached. Experimentation with the brain showed no hindrance to thought or ability. All in all, internal structure with the seems more in line with a simplified artistic representation of a human body than with a precise medical recreation with only vascular systems and esophagus, stomach providing actual functions. That is interesting, but must also be weird. Imagine like operating on a humanoid creature and it's just a wide awake. It's like, yeah, I don't feel anything. A little bit uncomfortable, but other than that, I'm good. Testing of empathy. Dr. Blank. A single D-class personnel, D-13904, was restrained within a non-functioning device visually similar to an electric chair. SCP-1005 was introduced and instructed to push a button. Upon inquiry of its purpose, SCP-1005 was informed that it would deliver an extremely painful non-lethal shock to D-13904. SCP-1005 politely declined when threatened that D-13904 would be terminated unless procedure was followed. SCP-1005 hesitated. D-13904 recorded as pleading, "Come on, man, don't let them kill me." SCP-1005 apologized to D-13904 for his discomfort and pressed the button. D-13905 released from bonds and escorted from chamber by security personnel. After the test, SCP-1005 asked why the man was not shocked. Dr. Blank explained that they were testing SCP-1005 SCP-1005 reaction never meant actual harm. SCP-1005 stated believed that he was not expected to injure a living person. Exact phrasing seems to point towards this being a case of going against programming than true empathy. SCP-1005 apparently designed wholly for artistic and entertainment pursuits. But he doesn't want to. It cannot harm people because that's not what it's meant to do. But it seems also still to like be aware that something can be painful. Restructuring of anatomy. Dr. Blank, research assistant Blank, using sculpting tools and paint supplies, numerous alterations were made to SCP-1005's physical structure, including sculpting and painting of additional eyes, removal of right arm, reattachment of right arm, below left arm, and sculpting of an additional nose in the abdominal region. SCP-1005 has recorded all experiences to be extremely uncomfortable and disorienting, but extra organs and reattached limbs proved to be fully functional. Male sexual organs proved no more sensitive than any other skin surface and exhibited no reaction. Following testing, SCP-1005 was returned to original state. SCP-1005 politely requested the tests not to be repeated. Yeah, makes sense. It's not really comfortable to deal with. Additional note: Assistant Blank repeatedly suggested during the testing that SCP-1005 have clothing excised and given a real man's body before being redressed. SCP-1005 politely refused an Assistant Blank reprimanded and removed from case when she was shown to be developing unprofessional levels of attachment to SCP-1005. She got a crush on it. And wanted to modify the SCP to her liking. That is fucked up. Especially since it's fucked up because like he clearly was like he's cooperative. Like he's not doing anybody any harm, and now we have this woman just going on and it's like, oh, I can make it perfect. It's messed up. Don't do that. Okay, I'm gonna do the be right back thing again because in case there's something. Yeah, well, I meant to click here. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, you're right. Instead of clicking here, I accidentally click on next. That's what happened. Okay. Oh, just a CD. It's just a CD right here. No link. Okay. Now we're reading factory porn, and it's also safe. Okay, so this is the second save. Well, originally the first save, and then the Painted Man was the second save. All copies of SCP-1004-1 and -2 are to be kept in secure containment locker 17 at Site 37. I'm gonna read a bit faster since actually no, I'm not gonna read a bit faster. There's four left afterwards. So yeah, we should be hopefully done by 1 a.m. Hopefully. At no point are any copies of SCP-1004 to be used for recreational purposes following the event of incident SCP-1004 Dale. Researchers are no longer allowed to view the output of SCP-1004, even when filtered or via a secondary source. Only D-Class are allowed to view the output of SCP-1004. Use of SCP-1133-7 and SCP-894. Oh yeah, yes. 3 plastic monkeys and 1 covered. Yep. Mouth, 1 covered ears, and if you look at SCP, we lose the associability for. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I remember those monkeys. Instances by research and control subject has been approved were deemed appropriate in preventing undesired spread of SCP-1004's effect. The Foundation has set out to prevent anyone from receiving copies of SCP-1004 by any planned and ordered process of unrequested electronic mailings, many of which include computer viruses, malware, or electronic worms. A program has also been designed and disseminated to all electronic mail providers to help prevent SCP-1004 from spreading. Recent edition of SCP-1004. Okay, here we go. Description: SCP-1004 is a computer program found on either a CD-2 or a 3.5 diskette. -1, either of which will be. Oh yeah, here's all the other one. Yeah, okay. Either of which will be hand labeled with the words factory porn. Contained on these disks is a single executable file labeled the factory.exe. A 1 kilobyte program. The program runs perfectly on all platforms. Running the program results in a window opening on the computer within which the factory logo is displayed. The logo fades to black and is replaced by the words "What would you like to see?" At this point, the user may input any selection of words from the ambiguous to the precise. Once a request has been input, the program will pull up several dozen images of pornographic content, each of which leads to a full video on the subject. Many of these videos appear to have never been made in real life. So, fake porn about a person from the factory, as Irrelevant Anon has mentioned. That's, yeah, that's kind of weird. That's kind of weird. Imagine like there is porn of you that you never like. I mean, of course, like a lot of fictional people have like CGI porn of themselves, but imagine this porn of you where like it's realistic, it's actual human beings having sex, but you're there like I never did this. Why is there all this stuff about me? And who knows what kind of stuff it is? It could be like simple stuff, or it could be like the most hardcore of fetishes and kinks. You don't know. Watching videos on SCP-1004 has a cumulative effect. The more pornography a user views, the more disturbing their sexual desires become. Oh great, that's... The harder sexual gratification comes after approximately 100 straight hours of viewing pornography on SCP-1004. Even the most normal of viewers will display an interest in scatology play, the torture and murder of living beings, bestiality, pedophilia, and combination of the previous. Ugh. Yeah, no. The deadening of reactivity to sexual gratification will encourage them to either seek out such things with other people or to mutilate themselves and their genitalia. It should be noted that SCP-1004 displays no compulsive properties. Users are free at any time to stop using the program. The majority of users continue to use SCP-1004 because it is the easiest way to find the desired pornography. As stated above, any word or combination of words may be entered. This has been used by many victims to view popular members of high social standings in the bedroom, giving rise to many rumors of celebrity sex tapes. The thought has been posited that such videos could be used for blackmailing of politicians who are antithetical to the Foundation's cause. And that's how 4chan was created, yeah. Yeah, ugh. Unfortunately, at this time, all attempts to make recordings of SCP-1004 have resulted in only tape static. Several researchers have claimed to be able to see humanoid shapes moving in the static, but this effect has not been seen or on subsequent playthroughs. SCP-1004 appears to spread through the use of electronic messages sent seemingly at random. Messages general claim have to have certain celebrities performing sexual acts or have to have certain depraved acts on tape that are illegal in many jurisdictions. A link included in the message requested users to enter their home address. The resulting copy of SCP-1004 show up in plain brown wrapper within 3 days through bulk mail with no return address. The Foundation currently contains 37 copies of SCP-1004-1 and 23 copies of -2. Researcher Adam Dale was found to be encouraging D-Class subjects to watch SCP-1004 and cooperate with each other for his pleasure. It was determined researcher Dale has been affected by SCP-1004 despite never having watched it directly, only monitoring the test through the video feed. Any and all indirect viewing of SCP-1004 has been cancelled. Yeah, you better fucking cancel that shit. That ain't healthy. Okay, now we can go to this one. Oh shit, wait, hold on. I accidentally closed my windows because I'm dumb. Okay. You're gonna hear something real quick, I'm just...
Okay.
Yeah. What do we have here? Spider proletariat. So what, I don't know what proletariat is, so probably looking this up will immediately explain to me what it means. It is a social class of wage earners. Oh god, it's the social class spider group. We're gonna have like the peasants and the kings. Oh god, power through Afro. Last four. This one is short, nice and short. This one has some. I gotta say, the first 10 SCPs or the first 1,000 all have pretty decently rated. Like none of them were below 100. So, and this is the third save. Okay. Oh yeah, by the way, if you don't mind, unless you already did and I completely forgot, pressing that follow button. Tomorrow we're gonna read another 10 SCPs, like SCP 1010 till 1019. So, if you don't mind pressing that follow button up somewhere down below me, unless you already did and I just don't remember. Because looking at this list, already done. Yeah, I thought so. I thought so. Okay. I accidentally closed that shit. I don't know why I did that. There we go. Alright. SCP-1006 is contained within a 213-meter radius in Redacted National Park and should be checked bi-weekly. Civilian access is to be denied by means of an endangered species cover story. Relocation of SCP-106 is strongly discouraged due to the fragility of individual members and the sensitivity to habitat changes. Observation posts 45. Habitat changes. Observation post 45 has been set up within the containment zone and supplies SCP-1006 with a various audiobook versions of communist and classical literature at SCP-1006 request, as well as black ink and poster board as necessary. All personnel entering the containment zone are required to wear level Z hazardous material protection due to the presence of fine particulate contaminants. Upon departure, a standard decontamination procedure as per document FSP-0371-D-B-07 is to be undertaken to prevent uncontrolled spread of SCP-1006. SCP-1006 is an organized collective of an unknown species of the genus Araneus, which is, I guess, it's spider, right? Or a type of spider, at least. Yes. The type of spider. Common orb-weaving spiders, that's the one. Okay. Individual members have achieved sapience through unknown means that have established a rudimentary system of government resembling Marxist communists. The moment they became sapient, they're like, we gotta start having fucking... We're gonna have some laws around here. The original mass of SCP-1006 was discovered on the 1st 19 blank by a hiking couple. My nose is super itchy. who alerted park authorities. The Foundation took over after the discovery of written propaganda inside the central web, along with evidence of marked use of extremely simple tools. Webs resembling faces of passerbys and simple attempts to block off the area via fallen branches. SCP-1006 is a social community with some members maintaining their web and other apparently choosing to maintain the agenda of the whole. Once supplied its source of black ink and poster sheets, SCP-1006 will communicate with humans by creating signs written in English. These communications are largely centered around demands for the dismantling of Western imperialism, a scathing critique of the bourgeoisie, and a request for less mosquito spraying in the surrounding area of the park, of course, because they want to eat those mosquitoes. The head of the government is a large spider that resembles a wolf spider, taking up refuge in the largest tree of the cluster. I love wolves, so of course I'm gonna look this up just to see how they look like. Are those the babies? Because that's not what this picture shows. That looks like a bunch of small mini spiders on its back. Many wolf spider species carry the live brood on their back. Yeah, so those are the babies. Looks a bit. Yeah, that looks a bit discomforting to look at, isn't it? But kind of cool. Okay, that's less cool. I mean, that was already weird, but this, yeah. I don't mind spiders. Whenever I see a spider in my house, I'm kind of like, hey, buddy, what are you doing? I'm like, I'll just bring it outside, but in the same time, sometimes I leave it. Communist spiders, what's next? Capitalist wasps. Hey, man, you say that, like. There might be an SCP like that, and I might bump into it anytime soon. I might just like open up SCP, like I don't know, like 3567, and then it's like it's just gonna be a wasp trying to be a capitalist group of wasps. But yeah, okay, yeah, I don't really mind spiders. I mean, of course, if they're huge, like if they're actually like the size of like this big, I'm gonna be a bit concerned, but. I'm not the type of person who kills spiders. I think I just bring them out. More spiders, creating a home supply. There it is. Communication has been relayed with the spider, who views the outside world as something that belongs to us, that is merely being maintained by the bourgeois humanoids. It has given its name as benevolent leader. Oh no. SCP-1006 is currently located in a cluster of black oak trees within a massive and complex central web and several secondary webs. The webs appear to be very well maintained, with damage being constantly repaired. The surrounding area has a nauseating odor due to the presence of 1,000 of dead insects, individual members of SCP-1006, and an occasional dead bird and small animal. That'll do it. That'll do it when it comes to creating a bad smell. Close study by arachnologists and sociologists have discovered that the members of SCP-1006 utilize a central collective think tank that passes on ideas of the benevolent leader to collective numbers to complex frequencies in the web. Addendum: the skeletal remains of a male human being were found in an area of the web. Male human being, surrounded by dead insects and a variety of small shiny objects such as bottle caps and pebbles, along with the occasional pocket watch and bits of metal in apparent reverence. SCP-1006 does not allow the skeleton to be disturbed. But passive analysis indicates that the male died that gets prior from blunt trauma to the back of the head. Identification located near the body and identifies him as a known political radical reporting missing from the nearby town of blank blank, Texas in 1976. I think those spiders fucking knocked him out, dude. The spiders were like, boom! They somehow grabbed a baseball bat and caved his head in. That is crazy. Crazy. Mr. Life and Mr. Death. And the SB909 down here already showing. So let me quickly double check what SB909 was again. It was Mr. Forgetful. Yes. Yes. The guy who forgets everything in a short period of time until you write it down, but then you forget everything. Yeah. So these, these are part of the Mr. Like these are part of the one came in Mr. Lineage, I assume. Maybe. Save, another save. Okay, when inactive, SCP-107 is to be kept in a standard coffin along with -1. The subject may only be activated during routine testing as of current regulation on Misters. SCP-107 is to be contained in Hall 8 of Site 13. SCP-107 appears to be a male of indeterminate ethnicity who undergoes the entire human race life cycle within a 75-minute time frame. The subject ages at a rate of approximately 1 year per minute. So it basically lives an hour and 15 minutes before it just dies. Once 75 minutes have elapsed, the subject will invariably expire of spontaneous cessation of metabolic activity with no evident causes. So yeah, it just died after an hour and 15 minutes. It reports feeling excruciating pain during the first 60 minutes when its bones and muscles are changing shape very rapidly. Yeah, think about it, like it starts off as a baby, then child, and then yeah, basically child. The first 20 minutes it starts off as a baby and goes into young adult in the first 20 minutes, and then the rest of the 55 minutes is just pure adult life. Well, actually, let's take 16 minutes of that. It says so. Next 24 minutes is just pure adult life, and then suddenly the last 60 minutes is just aging to the elder, becoming an elder in rapid succession. When its bones and muscles are changing shape very rapidly, this process violates the first law of thermodynamics, as the subject does not seem to require any energy input to fuel the massive amount of cellular growth. -1 is a key that fits into a small metal keyhole inserted into the object's back. In between its shoulder blades, X-ray scans have shown that the keyhole is in an empty socket with no internal mechanism. When -1 is turned, the subject's physical age is reversed by 1 year for each turn until it has regressed to the form of a neonate. Kind of weird how all One Entertainment does are toys, and then there's these guys who are basically humans. Yeah, I was wondering about that, because yes, most of the things he creates are toys or like very like, you know, circus level stuff, but it is interesting that he created a bunch of people as well, like, well, people, you know. I was wondering about it, but like, I'm not, like, does it ever, is it, I highly doubt any of the other future SCPs that has to do with Dr. One Entertainment will explain this, but I assume like a side story of his explains this, maybe. Neonate, where's neonate? There. It is not known where the mass that is removed from the subject body shrinks disappears to. If this is done after the subject's 75 minutes lifespan has elapsed, the subject will reactivate if the subject has been dead for long enough to not have decayed, and any decay regardless of its extent will also be reversed. That's why it's called Mr. Life, Mr. Death, because like, yeah, you have to spin the key to give it life, and then it just dies real fast. SB-103. Wait, excuse me. SCP-1007 was recovered by Task Force Tower 6 along with SCP Blank, SCP Blank, and SCP Blank during a raid on the California mansion of Redacted. A known customer of Marshall Collins twice. Those guys are twice in my stream. Redacted. Admitted that he had obtained SCP-107 from a Marshall Collins dog sponsored auction. It's always an auction. Those guys don't give two shits. They create like the weirdest shit. They probably kidnap people and alter them rather than straight up creating them. Yeah. Redacted admitted that he had obtained and claimed that at the auction in question there had been at least 4 other misters for sale, but did not recall to whom they had been sold. Then number 1, the words Mr. Life and Mr. Death. Getting tired. From Little Misters by Dr. Von Entertainment are tattooed on SCP-107's right calf. That's also a thing that many of the Misters have. They have like right or left calf or something like that. It's not a tattoo. This designation appears as 11 in the document SCP-909-8, which is which, as we know, is this guy. The Mr. Mr. Forgetful, or Mr. Whatever his name was. The fact that its designation seemingly refers to a pair has been taken by some to mean that SCP-107 has a counterpart that has yet to be recovered. SCP-107 has stated that it is unaware of the existence of such a counterpart and believes that its designation refers to the fact that it alternates between life and death. However, given that it was also unaware of the existence of several other misters known to the Foundation, the existence of this hypothetical counterpart remains a possibility, and efforts are currently being made to determine its whereabouts. We're in the last 2. Can you imagine, like, you only get to live for 75 minutes before, like, you just cease to exist, but then somebody can just basically just twist something in the back of you and you're alive again. Exile Stone. Exile Stone. What could that indicate? What could that mean? I mean, maybe it's like a stone that like basically attaches itself to you, and no matter where you go. Also, one of them is one of the most mysterious. Multi-personality, gender, and goal. Either every author writes something different. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's true because like it's just odd because like he's trying to make it look like One Entertainment is trying to make himself look like he's just trying to create stuff for children so they have a good time. But a lot of things he created is also like definitely highly dangerous for children. So it's just like what is he trying to do with all this? So Exile Stone, I'm gonna say it's a stone that attaches itself to you magically, and then everything. Your family, your friends, your work, your club, anything like that kicks you out. It's just like you just are not allowed to be around anything with this thing. Maybe. Might be it, might not be it. There's another save. Wow, a lot of the later ones are saved. I think it's like the 5th save now. Like from here to here we had save, I believe, right? Because Factory Point was saved, Paint Man was saved, was Spider Polier saved, or was it? That's also saved. Mr. Life and Death is saved, Exile Stone is saved. A lot of saves. Oops, wrong one. SCP-108 is stored in a molded, opaque container which is stored in a secure locker at Site Blank. SCP-108 may only be removed when it's contained with prior permission from at least 2 Level 3 personnel and all subjects exposed. I need to shave. God damn. To SCP-108 must be kept under observation until expiration. SCP-108 is a polished, irregular mass of obsidian measuring approximately 8 centimeters in diameter at its widest point and weighing approximately 1.4 kilograms. That's pretty heavy for a rock, for a stone. The image of a sun is carved into one of the surface of SCP-1008, which is surrounded by an as of yet untranslated inscription in what is believed to be an ancient Indonesian dialect. When the sun carving of SCP-1008 is pressed against the forehead of a living human subject, its enormous effects manifest upon nightfall. Okay. The power of the stone. The Infinity Stones, they're all mine. Slam that into your forehead. Become vision. The first stage, which usually lasts approximately 1 week, subject affected by SCP-1008 become unable to perceive the sun. That must be weird. Imagine it's daytime and you look up and like, where's the sun at? And everybody else is like, it's right there, dude. No. Where is it? How is the sun gone? How do we have bright daylight but there's no sun? What is that? What is happening? And it was looking at you like, he's fucking crazy. Affected subjects can no longer see the sun and cannot see without the aid of artificial light. Oh, okay, so they are completely blind. Unless you have artificial light. Examination of affected subjects show physical reactions consistent with a complete deprivation of solar illumination, such as eye dilation and extended exposure to sunlight does not affect subjects or cause blindness. Additionally, subjects report being unable to see the moon or other celestial bodies illuminated primarily by sunlight. In most cases, stars are still observable. Okay. During the second stage, which lasts approximately 2 to 3 weeks after stage 1, subjects become unable to receive heat and other solar radiation. So you're just cold and blind, basically. Oh god. Subject reported feeling increasingly cold and will exhibit progressively paler skin tone as well as symptoms of vitamin D deficiency and seasonal affective disorders. Sad. In the final stage of SCP-1008 exposure, typically 4 to 6 weeks after initial exposure, subject reportedly observed increasing unhealthiness in other living subjects. Plants appear wilted and stunted, and animals appear emaciated. Most importantly, affected subjects in the final stage are unable to obtain nutrition from any plant or animal-based food product, and will invariably expire due to malnutrition after a period of several more weeks. Transcript excerpt of interview with Subject 1008-1. Subject 1008-1, Agent blank blank, was accidentally exposed to SCP-1008 while undercover and assigned to redacted. Somebody's screaming outside. Agent blank immediately brought SCP-1008 to the attention of the Foundation upon manifestation of its effect and was placed under observation. Dr. Blank, okay, time to voice act.
What was the first indication that something anomalous had taken place?
I woke up at about 5 in the morning. I think the day after first contact. I'm used to getting up before the sun comes up. I thought it was weird that I couldn't see the pre-dawn glow, and the sun just never came up. This Dr. Blank called me and asked me why I wasn't up on such a fine sunny day, and that's when I broke cover and called it in.
What happened next?
Well, for the first few days it wasn't so bad. It was just that the sun never came up and it was weird. And it was completely dark out and you couldn't see anything, but people were moving around normally. It got harder after the first week though. It just started getting colder and colder, and everything, the trees and plants all started looking sick and wilted, even though everyone else told me they were just fine.
Go on.
Yesterday was when I really started getting really bad. I guess it's just everything comes from the sun. All the food we grow, the animals we raise, it's all just energy from the sun. I just can't eat anymore. Subject -1 became unable to eat after 36 days on the effect of SCP-1008 and was eventually sedated and placed on an IV regimen. Subject, after approximately 43 days in containment with cause of death determined to be advanced hypothermia and malnutrition. Yeah, So malnutrition makes sense because they didn't eat or drink anything, but that hypothermia means though that the coldness that they feel is not just a thing that they feel themselves, it's actually happening to their body. They're actually becoming super cold, so their bodies slowly shut off. That's horrible, yeah. Their bodies slowly shut off. Like, at first they think that the sun doesn't exist anymore, and that nature around them is dying. But yeah, the body's basically just becoming a corpse. It's slowly like, yeah, that's what it is. It's becoming a corpse. Corpses don't see the sun. Corpses don't understand or perceive well-taken plants and animals. You end up feeling like a corpse, and you see the world like a corpse. Basically, everything is dead, non-existent, so on and forth. It's pretty brutal, to be honest. Partial translation of SCP-108 inscription. Sinner, as punishment, judgment, is banished, exiled from the face of unknown, possibly son of God, to die in darkness. And here we have the last SCP for the day. Exile Stone, okay. Gotta say. It's pretty intense, Exile Stone. The beautiful world. That's not a title I can work much with, and also I'm too tired to think of like a zany answer to this one. So let's just see what it does. Now hold on a minute. No, it's not. Okay, it cannot be possible. It wasn't possible. It wouldn't be possible. It would not be possible if that was the case. Because I had to edit a music montage with a bunch of dancers in the mountains. And one of the things I did was I turned the leaves to a different color, and for just a short moment, I thought that was a frame from the video I worked on. But it's not. It's not. It would not be. It's not the case. Not the case. Hey, our third keto. After the 5 saves, we got our third keto, and we have 2 Euclids in those 10s that we read. The area surrounding SCP-109 is to be walled off to a distance of 3 meters around it. Speakers are located at every 6 meters around the perimeter of the area, each constantly broadcasting tones louder than 80 decibels. These speakers are to be checked for functionality daily. That would be creepy as fuck. I mean, at the end, like the fact that like I worked on some videos and then I saw like somebody else using it happens. But I would have been like really like I would have been surprised if somebody found that video, especially because it was like meant for like a Swiss group. So because I live in Switzerland, so it would have been very interesting to see that somebody found that video and decided to use a frame from it for the SCP. The speakers are to be checked for functionality daily. Did I get a message on SMR? I did. Okay, I did. Let's go check. There we go. Small neon tape flags are to be installed clearly around the edge of SCP-109 at small intervals. If during daily monitoring an area is found clear of flags, containment should be re-evaluated. These performing examinations should wear ear protection to prevent hearing loss. In case of power failure, 2 backup generators of different make are attached to the current system, which should be maintained as alongside the speaker level of containment, and which will automatically activate in succession following the deactivation of the first. In the case of a complete electrical failure, such as an EMP variety strike, a backup system consisting of metal spheres and aluminum sheeting has been installed, which will automatically activate if speakers become disengaged for over 5 minutes. This will allow between 45 minutes and 1 hour to re-establish containment or to manually reset the secondary range stick containment component. Re-establishing containment is a top priority in the case of outages. SCP-1009 is an enormous area of land, approximately 45 by 30 meters and irregularly shaped. This area will expand, converting all foreign material surrounding it to further areas of SCP-1009, chemically and structurally irrelevant to the original materials and structures. SCP-1009 expands at a rate of 0.8700 meters per hour. So 87 centimeters per hour, basically. Growth of growth of SCP-1009 may be entirely restrained by loud noises. Any sound over 60 decibels will stop growth in the immediate area. That's why the 80 decibel speakers. Currently maintained with mechanical speakers, but voices, instruments, and natural noise are all equally effective. If entirely unrestrained, SCP-1009 will break containment entirely in 3.45 hours. Cover 4,044 square kilometers in 4,044 square kilometers in 24 hours, and expand to 1,000. No wait, that's not 4,000. It's just 4.44. Excuse me. Expand to 1,000 kilometers after 26 days. The environment within SCP-1009 appears natural, but it's not composed of Earth-like flora or fauna. For a complete and environmental analysis, see document 109-AIE-40. In general, flora is in bright, non-Earth-like colors and is larger than most Earth flora. Analysis of biota indicates that the area is equivalent to a forest. However, neither invertebrate nor vertebrate animal life is naturally occurring within the area. There is no effect on humans within entering SCP-1009, allowing the taking of numerous samples and measurements. Addendum A. SCP-A is a corpse of an unusual creature found in SCP-1009. A was seen exiting the area and was shot by a god. Jesus. Who has been reprimanded for his hasty action. The fact that a corpse can just spawn out of this and walk out. The actions. The creature resembles a squirrel or monkey with large ears and appears to be a mammal. The body is currently stored inside a deep freeze and may be requisitioned for study from Dr. Light. Addendum B. The Dr. Vox has proposed that SCP-10... Jesus fucking Christ. I'm at the... So here's the thing. I'm sitting... In the way I'm sitting, there's like a... So I'm like in the path... Place is basically going inwards, right? So the living room is around the corner like that. And right now, and this always happens when I read SCPs, my imagination is getting the better of me. There's nothing there, but I'm literally like every time I'm reading, I'm thinking there's like somebody just looking around the corner. And could be allowed to expand around the source of noise, creating a circle of non-anomalous terrain within the area, and that might have a different effect on humans within it. Necessary documentation was approved, and D-18899 was selected as a subject hogtied and placed with a 70 decibel battery operated speaker at the edge of SCP-1009. So before you go, the next one will be tomorrow. Will be 10 p.m. Swiss time. I don't know what time that is, but yeah, it's gonna be tomorrow again. And if you want to see what the rest happens of this stream, it will be on my YouTube, which you can find below. So yeah, anything like that. So you should be aware tomorrow will be the next stream, and the rest of the reading and my rating of the SCPs will be on YouTube or on here. Doesn't matter. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate that you stayed this whole time, and that you commented, and that you participated as much as you could. So yeah, and I hope I see you tomorrow. So I wish you good night, or good morning, afternoon, evening. I don't know where you are. So yeah, good luck with whatever came up with as well. Good luck with that. Growth did occur around the buzzer over the course of 7 hours. The D-class was seen to experience typical fear and panic at the beginning of the test. However, in the area surrounding the buzzer, large spike-like plants grew to surround and form a dome over the top of the area. Because unusual growth within SCP-1009 has never otherwise responded to outside stimulus. After 12 hours, the battery on the buzzer failed, and the non-anomalous zone was taken over by the area. At this point, cameras in the containment area. My eyes are tired. No. The fact that the rain effect like jumped because it's a looping sound. It jumped in the moment I opened my eyes, so it's like a little bit of like a jump scare effect to it. Didn't help with the idea that I'm currently thinking I'm seeing somebody around the corner, which is not the case at all. At this point, cameras in the containment area record an unusual event when the circle of normal terrain shrank over D18899. D18899 disappeared and was replaced by a large dark-colored animal resembling a deer or caribou, free of restraint, which broke through the ring of the branches, using its head, and proceeded to circle the area of containment, knocking against walls and damaging 3 speakers. With its hooves and head, cameras had difficulty picking up the entity's image. The photo included is the clearest available. There's no photo here, is there? I mean, this one is. Which... it's just so weird to see this. It feels like my video. It just really does. It's just so weird. At this point, the attending researcher Dr. V. Blank radioed for help while grabbing a fire extinguisher and entering the containment area. Dr. V. Blank managed to drive the animal off and it ran into the center of SCP-1009 and apparently disappeared completely after leaving the sight range of both cameras and Dr. V. Blank. As far as can be determined SCP-1009B no longer exists and never exited containment. Tracking analysis indicates its footprints appeared near the center of the area as its leftover route. Containment was re-established and capture protocol was set up in case further creatures appear within SCP-1009. And there we go. The beautiful world. And here is my list. So yeah, you gotta admit the whole Bigfoot one is a very strong start. The fact that it's all about that the Bigfoot that we know for the urban legends is made up by the Foundation, and that there were a whole population of these things, and then the humanity killed them all. Followed up by that they got their brains wiped, but now they're remembering stuff, and it's very hard to tell if they're genuine or not, or if they're oh, we'll forgive you. There might be, there might not be, we don't know. Spider proletariat, I just think the idea of spiders just being the communist spiders who are have a whole hierarchy and a whole who's on top. It's just hilarious to me. think that's like just the idea is funny, but it's also cool, and also it's kind of like a thing that like maybe spiders do think this way and we just don't know. Maybe spiders have like a superiority complex and we just are not aware of it. Exile Stone, it's really well done, like writing wise. Like it's well done because like you feel bad for whoever ends up making contact with the stone, because they lose sight of the sun completely. They think the sun doesn't come out anymore. They lose the ability to gain heat or feel heat. Oh my eye. And then like they think the world around them is dying. So like it's like all connected to the sun. It's all connected to like because like the sun gives heat, the sun gives light, the sun gives food for animals and plants and so on and so forth. So yeah, it makes it's very sad, but it's very well done. The misers, I think the concept is just cool. You know, like the idea of not only do objects have like the shape of a human being, but also like the punishments are just hardcore. I think that's what makes them stand out, is like the fact that all the punishments are super hardcore. Tapeworm Child, that one is fucking nasty, but it's a good type of nasty. I think like when it comes to like horror stuff or slasher stuff, it's like right there. That's good stuff. It makes you go, ugh, but it's good that it makes you do that. It means they're trying to accomplish that you feel uncomfortable and disgusted, and it does that. So the Penguin Man, honestly, it's just I think it's just nice to have SCPs that are willing to just be cooperative, and that the Foundation allows them to just, you know, walk around and do whatever they want without them getting yelled at or shoved around all the time. So the Painted Man is one of those cases too, and I think it's just hilarious that the system was like, I can make you better. Factory porn, that is just, yeah. The concept is pretty messed up, you know. It's like, it's basically the idea of deepfake with porn on another level. It's not only like, it's not that you put your face on somebody else doing porn. It is your face, your body, your voice, everything like that. That is doing a lot of despicable acts if you give that in. So, and it transforms you into like a very dangerous, like the amount of sexual desires you gain from this is dangerous. It's not good. Ya-Te-Veo. Yeah, I think I actually had a lot of fun reading that, because of the idea of like you walk by and they just speak to him. And Jade helped me out with a hello there. The idea of like one of them just going hello there as you walk by is kind of funny. Mr. Life and Death, yeah. Very sad life that man is living. Because like he only gets to live for like 75 minutes before you have to like basically spin him up again just for him to function. And last but not least, the beautiful world. Yeah, you know, the world is just more colorful, but there's things coming out of it that's a bit dangerous. Corpses, weird animals, so on and so forth. And that's that. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. As I said, tomorrow is going to be the next reading of SCP. It's going to be 1010 till 1019. I hope you all enjoyed today's stream. I wish you all good morning, afternoon, evening, and the Afro is with you.